Hi, my name is Monica Wiley, and I run the Disability Issues Caucus constituency organization for the Democratic Party of Virginia. This film is being done by Martin Images. Let me share with you briefly about who I am and what my American dream would be. At the age of 9, I was in a tractor-trailer accident that caused my family and I to plunge over a bridge falling 150 feet into a power plant and a foot and a half deep into the ground. When they pulled the tractor trailer off of my family, my mother and my baby sister's chest was crushed in. They died instantly, and my stepfather's neck was cut severely in the power wires. And as a result, for me, my back was split wide open and my body was fragmented. I had suffered severe trauma to the spine and was classified as paraplegic. I had to undergo several surgeries in order to be able to at least move the upper part of my body. As a result of that accident, again, I lost my entire family, and I had to learn how to adapt to not being able to see my mom again, my sister again, or my stepfather. It was very heartbreaking. It was very, very, very emotional and a tumultuous time for me because I just did not know how to deal with these emotions. And not to mention the fact that the doctor told me that I would never be able to walk again. But on one fine Monday, when they checked my body and did an examination, they found that some of the nerves had replenished to my spine and that I was able to feel below my waist, and I started immediate rehabilitation. During that process, I was still very emotional because at 9 years old, you don't expect to lose your entire family. My life was turned upside down, and at 9 years old, I just didn't know what to think, what to do, how to feel. But all of these things were coming at me, and I just didn't know how to deal with them. I ended up being raised by my aunt, my mom's sister, who was a single mother and already had 2 children to raise. It was a different environment for me, and it was something that I had to adjust to. I was afraid as a child at 9 to play with other kids and to be among other people in society because I felt as though that I was different. When I would see the kids playing in the neighborhood, they would be running and walking and playing, and I couldn't do those things anymore because it was taken away from me. I felt robbed. And so during that time, during my adolescent years of going to school with different peers or of my peers, I always felt as though that I was being looked at differently, that I was being laughed about because I walked with such a visible limp. Both of my knees curved in together as I walk, and I had to walk with a walker, and I went from a walker from 2 crutches and from 2 crutches to 1. At times I felt like I was not a complete woman or a complete teenager, but I still maintained being optimistic and knowing that if I just can see that I have so much to give, that I have so much intelligence, and I was such a strong individual, that I knew that my American dream of sharing my story with those who are less fortunate and with those who have not necessarily experienced what I've experienced, but have come across some type of death in their life or have come across some type of disparity. I knew that if I be that example that can show so many people how you can triumph over your challenges and you can triumph over your trying times if you just allow yourself to see beyond your past or present circumstances. So my aunt always told me that getting a degree was the key to success for myself. And so I went to college and I got 2 degrees, and so I decided to go ahead on and pursue a job. And that's when I realized so many discriminatory actions towards people with disabilities. I would try over and over again, and regardless of how well my resume looked, corporate America wouldn't give me a chance. They wouldn't give me an opportunity because they saw me as a liability and not as an asset. So advocacy became the heart of who I am, and I realized that someone has to be strong and fight for not only myself but also for the disability community to show how capable constituents that we are. And so with my advocacy and talking about how people with disabilities need economic sustainability and educational opportunities, it it went into the direction of policy making to create laws so that we can be contributing members to society. And so the Democratic Party of Virginia created the Disability Organization to strengthen the voice of people with disabilities through policy making. And although it's not a paid position, I'm still unemployed, I still believe in my heart of hearts that I am destined to share my story with others and to be a policy maker on behalf of people with disabilities in the country. So my story, my American dream is to travel across the country to be that beacon of hope for so many people and to show them that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. You can rise above any stigma, any challenge, any barrier, if you allow yourself to see that you're more than what you are, or you're more where you come from. And so at the end of this, I want to let you guys know that my American dream is to be a policy maker, to create policies while also being a beacon of hope for so many who have lost hope. This is my American dream.